For nearly 30 years, the murders of Tupac Shakur and the notorious B.I.G. have remained unresolved, surrounded by rumors, silence, and unanswered questions. But now, with a major indictment, resurfaced insider testimonies, and names from the past being pulled back into focus, the story is shifting. Former associates, family members, and industry insiders are speaking again, raising uncomfortable questions about what really happened, who may have known more than they admitted, and why this case refuses to stay buried.
50 Cent produced Diddy documentary. Did it change how you viewed Suge's role at all? And people alleging that he was involved with Tupac's death?
Absolutely.
Sometimes you get away with stuff, and you, like when you hear the song on the I put $1 billion on your head. Real kid, like you know, like don't nobody want to kill nobody, and really don't let nobody know.
I mean, it's all f***ed up. It was a setup. It was a plot to my brother. I feel f***ed up about it.
Builder events connected to his past. Some of those discussions have once again pointed toward unresolved questions surrounding the deaths of Tupac Shakur and the notorious B.I.G. In this video, we're going to examine several claims and perspectives that have resurfaced, including comments from people who were close to the situation, such as former Bad Boy associates Kirk Burroughs and Gene Deal, along with statements from members of Tupac's family, including his brother Mopreme and cousin Jamala. These are individuals who, by their own accounts, were closely connected to that era. Tupac and Biggie were once friendly, both rising rapidly and shaping hip-hop in powerful ways. Tragically, both were killed at the height of their success, just 6 months apart, a loss that permanently changed the culture. Now, several people who were present during that time have spoken publicly over the years. Tupac's cousin, former Bad Boy artist Mark Curry, this is a major development, everyone. According to statements 50 Cent has made publicly, federal investigators were not only paying attention to Sean Diddy Combs for recent legal issues, but were also reviewing retired LAPD detective Greg Kading, and even former gang affiliates have shared overlapping versions of events. Many of them believe Tupac's killing was not random, but organized. Kirk Burroughs, a Bad Boy co-founder, has claimed that Diddy was involved, an allegation that Diddy has denied and that has never been proven in court. For decades, no one was formally convicted in Tupac's case, and the story slowly became part of hip-hop folklore. Documentaries were released, articles were written, and theories circulated widely. Recently, however, renewed legal action has brought the case back into focus. The shift began in 2023 when Dwayne Keefe D was indicted in connection with Tupac's murder. Former detective Greg Kading stated in a documentary that, in his view, the investigation ultimately narrowed to Keefe D and Diddy as key figures mentioned in various accounts. Again, this reflects investigative opinions, not legal conclusions. During recorded interviews with authorities, Keefe D made serious claims. He alleged that roughly a year before Tupac's death, Diddy spoke in a room of Crips members and expressed a desire to see Tupac and Suge Knight harmed. Keefe D further claimed that money was later discussed as a possible incentive. These statements remain allegations and have not been confirmed by independent evidence.
Diddy claims that there is this ongoing conversation. It happens on 3 different occasions, but most specifically when he and Puffy are at this place called Greenblatt's Deli on Sunset. And they're there, things have spiraled out of control. Puffy's really concerned about, the welfare of his safety. And he tells Keefe D, man, I just need you to take care of this situation with Suge and Tupac. It's out of control. Tupac's on vinyl talking about kill kids when they grow up, and it's just become this really serious conflict. And he says, I just need you to take care of him. And Keefe D's like, that's no problem. That's what we do. And so an agreement was made, according to Keefe D, for an amount of money. And they kind of just let it go at that point in time. But of course, Keefe D knows in the back of his mind, this is what Puffy wants done. And they all end up out in Las Vegas. Suge's out there.
Well, before you say that, there's a couple things I want to talk about for Vegas. So when you say that Keefe got offered an amount of money, according to him, was there a dollar amount?
Yeah, so there was a dollar amount. But I think that, the nuances of this conversation are that, like, now I'll give you $1 million, whatever it takes. It's like exaggerated speech. But of course, when we interview Keefe D, he's like, yeah, that's what the agreement amount was, $1 million.
So according to Keefe, he's claiming that Puffy offered him $1 million to Suge or Tupac?
Both
or
of them.
Both.
Yeah, both their names came up. And according to Keefe D, he says, Tupac's put himself on the list by all the shit that he is doing.
Keefe D also discussed a firearm he claimed was hidden in a vehicle connected to Eric Von Zip Martin, a figure described by some as having influence and industry connections. Tupac's brother has publicly stated that, in his opinion, both Von Zip and Diddy should have been examined more closely if any weapons exchange took place. Again, these are personal views, not court findings.
Yeah, I can see how Pac felt like they had something to do with the setup, man. But speaking of Puffy, right, how do you feel about the rumor that Puffy, he gave a guy named Eric Von Zip a check for $1 million to give to Keefe D to kill Tupac?
I'm familiar with the story. I'm familiar with the dude. My man Big Psych, rest in peace, used to know that dude.
So you met Von Zip before. So how does that make you feel, man? Somebody that you met, and I'm sure that he knew that she was Tupac's brother. How does that make you feel knowing that he's the one that provided Keefe D with the gun to Tupac?
I mean, it's all f***ed up. It was a setup. It was a plot to my brother. I feel f***ed up about it. I don't know that nigga, but I ain't got no love for none of them. Straight up. It sounds like a typical plot. See, but considering who that guy is to Puffy and to Keefe D, for it not to be addressed is weird. We will see.
Kirk Burroughs' personal journals became an important talking point here. He has said that shortly before the Las Vegas boxing match, Diddy asked him to arrange rental cars to drive from New York to Las Vegas, a request Burroughs later described as unusual, given that flying would have been faster. He documented dates, expenses, and travel routes in handwritten notes, which later appeared in a documentary. Some reports suggest investigators reviewed these materials, though authorities have not publicly confirmed how they were used.
Security, Gene Deal, who was there to secure Puff, all the other warnings that we got that we needed more security, the snafu in the business world came in like this. You have a budget for everything that you do. The budget for Big in LA for the awards show ended that Friday night, Saturday morning, when a new budget started to get him from LA to London, where he would be taken care of with security, his friends, and everyone that he wanted to be with him in the style that he was accustomed to handle the press junket. When that didn't happen, that budget was never opened. The budget for LA ended, and there was a great need for security that Saturday night, and he was out without that security. The beef up. And we lost him. And in that decision, what it put us in, that decision put us in the worst situation that we could have ever been in. We lost our number one talent. We're on a West Coast where we're surrounded by enemies who told us not to be here. We really shouldn't have been there, but we were. Now we have to get out of there.
Months later, tragedy struck again. Just after midnight, Biggie Smalls left the party in Los Angeles. While stopped at a red light, another vehicle pulled alongside him and shots were fired. Biggie was struck multiple times and later pronounced dead at the age of 24. Following his death, several developments raised questions among observers. Reports emerged that Biggie had considered leaving Bad Boy Records, and disputes over his publishing surfaced. Meanwhile, Diddy appeared prominently in major media outlets. 2 months later, he released I'll Be Missing You, which became a worldwide hit, followed by a debut album that achieved multi-platinum success. Years afterward, Diddy acknowledged in interviews that Biggie's death increased public attention around him. While not illegal, that admission caused some critics to question the optics. Over time, allegations, lawsuits, and stories involving people connected to Diddy surfaced, though many were later dismissed, settled, or faded from public view. Now, Gene Deal, a longtime Bad Boy insider and former head of security, says the upcoming Keefe D trial could be significant, particularly because of the defense strategy being used. According to Gene, Keefe D's legal position centers on shifting responsibility back toward Diddy, a claim that remains contested.
There's no physical evidence that Keefe D has something to do with Pac's death. There's circumstantial evidence. There's people that could probably testify on what somebody told them or heard. So now, Keefe D, lawyers and them did a great job when they did trial by judge, because the judge is looking for physical evidence. What ties Keefe D to Puff? What ties Keefe D to the Tupac? And how could they prove that either one of them has something to do with it? Somebody would have to get on the stand and say that I saw him, he told me, and they want to have to believe them. So, do they believe Keefe D? If he told a lot of different stories, you got to realize he may have told more than 1 or 2 stories, because he tell that story now. What about the stories he told prior to this? You understand what I'm saying? So you're going to look at that. You're going to look at, okay, did he get the money? Where's the money at? Who got the money? Who wrote the check? Who paid the money? Where did it come from? When did it come from?
Gene emphasizes that there is currently no physical evidence placing Keefe D at the scene as the shooter. What prosecutors have are statements, past interviews, and accounts of alleged conversations. That is reportedly why Keefe D's attorneys requested a bench trial rather than a jury trial, focusing on legal standards of proof rather than emotional testimony. This raises difficult questions. What directly links Keefe D to the murder? One factor often cited is Keefe D's own admissions in past interviews, though those statements have varied over time.
Keefe D's claim was an informant in 1997 who told investigators that Puffy had hired the Southside Crips to both Suge and Tupac, and that the Crip who was jumped at the MGM was in the group that had done the hit, and that they originally were going to do it at Suge's Vegas nightclub, but then decided to do it right away instead of waiting. This was exactly the same story that Keefe D told us a decade later. Very few people know that immediately after Tupac is shot and that white Cadillac is fleeing, one of the death row entourage, a guy named Alton McDonald, known as Buntry, chases after the Cadillac, and a second shooting takes place between the two vehicles. Alton McDonald's car is struck. In fact, within the Las Vegas murder files, there's a document that indicates that Alton McDonald's car had been struck by a bullet that night.
Yeah, and he even said that, like, in retrospect, that was probably the best thing that could have ever happened to Puffy. By Zip stealing the money, now Puffy isn't connected to that shit. Or else it would have been like a murder for hire or something, you know what I'm saying?
The FBI said it was just Zip.
So the FBI told you the same
They said he was
thing.
a dirty motherfucker, yeah.
So the FBI told you that Zip kept that money as well.
They said Zip's a dirty motherfucker. Everybody crossed you. You the last one to know everything, even lawyers. your friends, everybody can cross your ass.
Gene says the case would only fully come together if someone testified under oath that they personally witnessed conversations, exchanges, or payments. Even then, credibility becomes critical. Keefe D has told multiple versions of events over the years, and inconsistencies require prosecutors to explain why one version should be trusted over another. Gene adds that if investigators could show a financial trail, money moving through intermediaries and reaching individuals tied to the crime, and if those parties confirmed it, the case would look very different. He has also long stated that relations between Diddy and Tupac were tense, a point Tupac's cousin Jamala Lassan has recently echoed.
So I run into Suge. Pac had to fight with Orlando Anderson. He come upstairs to the hotel room. First of all, when we get to Vegas, right, he flipped on me. He like, yo, move. Cause I'm thinking when we get to Vegas, we're gonna turn up, it's gonna be all lit. But once we get there, he turned on me. Like, nah, Moo, I don't want you coming out. You and Kadada stay in the hotel and so forth. So I'm feeling the way. I'm like, oh, shit, ain't this, like, how you gonna bring us out here? Now we gotta stay in our rooms. So I'm rebellious, right? So I'm being rebellious, right? So Shook Pop comes in the room. He's talking about how he just knocked out some dude. I don't know who the dude is. I didn't know later that this is Orlando Anderson, the head of the Crip and all this crap. You know what I mean? So when Pop come in the room talking about it, I'm like, oh, word, say word, Pop. So he changed. That's when he changed from the orange button-up shirt that he had on, and he put on the green, like, basketball jersey type of shirt, right? So at this point, he's looking for the outlaws. He don't know where they at, and he's telling me and Kadada to chill in the room. Everybody is there outside, they wildin', it's Robert Wayne time, and again, showing his protection for us, he recommend that we stay in the room. But I came out the room anyway and ran into Suge. And when I ran into Suge in the elevator, he in there with his girl, right? So I'm like, yo, Suge, I know you heard how Pop knocked out homie. And before I could say homie, Suge gave me the silent, he put the finger on his lips to silent me. So that already gave me like, oh, let me tone it down a notch.
Looking back, Jamala says she now believes Tupac may have been trying to protect those around him, subtly warning them the danger was nearby. She recalls his behavior that night, energetic, intense, but still focused on keeping loved ones safe. Tupac reportedly told her and Kadada Jones to stay inside the room. Kadada, his fiancée at the time, remained calm and supportive. Jamala also confirmed something that many questioned for years. Tupac was planning to marry Kadada. He spoke about homes, family, business ventures, and a future beyond Death Row Records. According to his family, Tupac wanted a different path.
This could be a week or two prior to us going to Vegas, right? So we in the kitchen, and Pac is on the phone. I'm in the kitchen, Pac is in the kitchen, and the outlaws, everybody's scattered throughout the house, but Pac is on the phone, and this is what I seen with my own eyes. And Pac is going bananas, yo. He's wilding out, he's cussing out Death Row, whoever, he didn't say, he just on the phone with somebody from Death Row camp. And he's going bananas. And all I hear him saying and screaming out is his masters, his masters. Yo, my brother head was sweating. He had veins popping out his neck, his head. He was at 10. And at that moment, I was scared. You know why? Because I thought that death was coming to the house to knock us all out. You know what I mean? Because again, we're in California. We're around amongst people that we're not quite understanding their culture, their gang lifestyle and stuff, you know what I mean? Again, we're New Yorkers. I certainly don't understand it. So I was a little afraid, I must admit, and I thought that death was coming to the house to knock us all out, straight up.
And so when you see Tupac on the phone, had you ever seen him like that before?
No, not like that. Nope. Not like where his veins is popping out his neck and out his bald head. No. Not that angry. And that's what scared me, because of the anger, the rage that he was pouring out. You know what I mean? And it was like I was just standing there stiff. I didn't even want to walk past him while he's on the phone. It's like, let me just stand here until he get off the phone, because he was, like I said, he was at 10 and he was pissed off.
Was that desire connected to plans to leave death row and possibly establish a label that could compete with Bad Boy? It remains a theory, one his cousin has said she believes, but it has never been proven. What's important is that these accounts are coming from people who were personally close to the situation, not newcomers seeking attention. Some of the harshest criticism of Diddy has also come from former artists like Freddie P., who has shared his personal perspective on the era.
You believe that Diddy has something to do with Tupac?
Anybody with common sense, no. Anybody with common sense, no. It's kind of like the John Gotti situations, right? So Gotti kept for so long, we knew who Gotti truly was. The Paul Castellano situation, that's his name, right? You know who took out the boss. Carmichael, I think that's his name, whatever. You know, but you can't prove it. We know of Puffy indiscretions. We knew he killed Tupac. It didn't make sense for nobody else to kill Tupac. And for so many years, so many people tried to spin the narrative and was saying it was Suge, but if you was in the streets, you knew it wasn't Suge. Because you in the streets, you gonna know somebody that knows somebody from that side who's reputable, whose word that you can trust and honor. They gonna spread the word. So we knew that it wasn't Suge because of what we heard Suge went through after. If you know, you know. Like, if you don't, you don't. So Suge basically was affected by the Tupac shit real bad. You get what I'm saying? He loved him like a brother. And I don't really think Suge probably loved nobody else like he loved Tupac. And I'm gonna keep it real. That's the way it was brought back to me. From street inside a car in LA. So, so many things that transpired since the Tupac situation, so many people's lives been affected, and Puffy just went on about his business.
Freddie has pointed to lyrics, interviews, and archived audio that he believes were overlooked for years. His view is that meaning can sometimes be found in patterns and repeated themes, though interpretation remains subjective. Long-standing accusations have suggested money played a role, but again, those claims have never been confirmed in court.
Sometimes you get away with stuff, and you, like when you hear the song on the I put $1 billion on your head. Real kid, like, you know, like, and don't nobody want to kill nobody, and really don't let nobody know. Like, you want to tell somebody, your son, your brother, somebody, even if you got to keep it G, and the streets can never find out. You want somebody to know. And when you hear the ad-lib, you see it turned down, you had to turn it up and single it out, and you heard it. I put $1 million on your fucking head. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all, which was the accusations that is the money that he paid Zip, right? If I'm not wrong, the money that he paid Von Zip was the money that Keefe. Only reason Puffy is not locked up is because Von Zip stole the money. which at the time seemed like a creepy thing, but came back to save Puffy's fucking life because the motherfucker he was willing to pay turned out to be a rat years later, and that would have bit Puffy all in the ass. But see, let me tell you something I do know, and it's from me to any street nigga. Them souls do not rest. And that's what I want to tell Puffy, Boosie's, all the people we know, they don't rest, bro. You see, shit just won't get right up. We just got so, that day you just waiting on that knock on the door because them souls don't rest, bro. And we was misled, a lot of us was misled to hurt each other and be, you know, be kingpins and guns and gangsters.
With Keefe D's trial expected to draw significant attention in August, many eyes will be watching closely. We'll continue covering verified updates as they emerge. Will you be following the trial? Share your thoughts in the comments. Like the video and make sure you subscribe because this story is clearly not over yet.